Hi guys, happy Friday, it's me. I've got a little Friday treat for you. Here we go. As you know, I put together stuff to try and help authors out, and I've had a lot of imposter syndrome, so I've been doing it all for free, and I've got something else free for you today. A while ago, I created these things. You can see on the screen. It's a product, which is basically, it's a zip file that contains 3 Adobe PSD files for Photoshop, and it's basically a template to help authors make adverts for their books. And it standardizes the size, it gives you little warnings about where other things in the UX might be so you don't cover those up, and it's got some bits that you can customize and move around, and I think it's pretty cool. Not gonna lie, I think it's pretty cool, and it's free. So if you are looking to make adverts for your books and you have Adobe Photoshop, go and click it. I've got a link down below. But a lot of people, when I threw this out there, started saying, listen, mate, I haven't got Adobe Photoshop. I'm just starting out. Adobe Photoshop costs $60 a month for a license. And that's fine for me because I do a lot of Photoshop stuff elsewhere. But if you're just starting out, the only thing you want to do is create some adverts. It's not really worth spending that much money. And so a lot of people make do with things like Canva or, and no disrespect, if you're an ingenious person who does this, PowerPoint. Believe me, I used to do all my adverts. I used to design covers for my books on PowerPoint. So it's more about, your talent as an artist rather than the tools you use. That being said, I thought, you know what? I'll put together my templates for making adverts into a format that you don't need any other special equipment to use. You can create whatever you want for free. And I'm going to demonstrate exactly that. So here is a book that I've got. It's called You Only Live Once. It's not a very successful spy thriller that I wrote that I really enjoyed. I've been experimenting with a different cover. I actually had a more James Bond cover, but that didn't really seem to move the needle. So I'm testing by reverting back to the original. Anyway, you don't need to know any of that. All you need to know is how do you make an advert for this book without spending any money or using a product you have to pay for. Well, you will need a couple of things. The first thing you will need is your book cover and some kind of background that you want to use. Just these 2 things, which makes it super, super easy. And the other thing that you will need will be these things, which are the files you can download. They're all PNG pictures, which means they're transparent pictures. I'll have a link down below. You can download all of these and you can use them to build your ad. The final thing you will need is a little tool that we call Snip, the snipping tool. This should be free on any... Oh, what did I do there? This should be free on any PC. You just type snip down there and it comes up, and it's very easy. You click new, and you select the area you want to snip of, and it turns it into a grab of that screen. It's fantastic. Right. Anyway, we don't need that. Let me show you what we do need. Okay, so just to reiterate, the plan is we are going to make a Facebook advert for this book, You Only Live Once, using nothing but my fancy PNGs that are free and free tools available on everywhere on the internet. So the tool we're going to use is going to be Slides. Google Slides. So if you just type slides.google.com, as long as you've got a Google account, I don't think you can do anything without a Google account, you have access to Slides, which is basically PowerPoint, a free version of PowerPoint for Google customers. And it opens up, and if you've ever used PowerPoint, it looks very, very, very simple. You just get this blank thing, and you can type what you want, blah blah blah, and you can add all sorts of things. We don't need any of this stuff, so we're going to delete. You select the box, click delete, get rid of it. We don't need themes, we just need this big white space. And I'll tell you why, because we are going to use these things, and we're going to use these things to create our advert. So the theory behind this and why I think it's going to be useful is I've created transparent layers which you can use to assemble an advert in the correct format for advertising on Instagram or Facebook. So let's make the most standard type of advert, which is a square advert. This is the one that's most commonly used on your feed, especially on mobile devices. So the first thing you need to do is take this borders square PNG and you drag it into your PowerPoint presentation. There, perfect. And then you want to take your background. And you take your background. I've got this European Union flag with this down there. And you drag this in. Now, the first thing you have to know is that when you create anything in PowerPoint or on Google Slides, it basically layers it one on top of the other. And the reason we have this purple layer is meant to establish the borders of your advert. So you don't need to guess that. So what we need to do is actually take this background image, right click, go to Order, and click Center Back. And so now it is behind the purple border thing, which is perfect. And you just take it around and you just decide how you want it to look, and you can scale it up or scale it down depending on your tastes. But the most important thing is that whatever you do, you want to make sure it is behind the purple thing here, because that's going to make actually cutting it out much easier. Right, once you've done that, great. Let's go back to our little list of pins. And obviously, if you're doing a landscape ad or you're doing a stories ad, you can use these borders things. The next thing we want to do is drag over a Kindle. So I've created a transparent PNG of a Kindle. Pull that over here and bonk. There we go. You can see it just lands right on top like that. So far, so good. Then we get our book cover. So here we are back where we had the background and the book cover, and drag the book cover into the presentation. There are various ways you can do this. What you can do is decide to sort of put your book cover on top, which works, and if it is not quite the right proportions, you can hold down Shift and you can actually shrink things whichever way you want to make them fit a little better. The other way you can do things, so I'm going to reverse that and keep the proportions, sorry I can't speak there, is to take this Kindle frame and bring forward so it is now on top of your book cover, and that's great. And then when you bring your book cover here, it's very easy to kind of scale it in and fit it in so it doesn't actually look goofy or out of size. There we go. So I mean, as far as adverts go, you know, it's not terribly exciting, but this is one way that you can put together your advert in a square. You can select both of these things and sort of move them around how you want. If you want to move that around like that. The only thing you have to remember is that the layers sometimes make it a little difficult to sort of move around. But once you were happy with what your advert is going to look like, you go down and you grab your snipping tool, and here is your snipping tool. You click New, and this is when you take your snip. So you use the borders as a guide to snip out your advert in kind of the correct proportions, and then bonk. It's not an exact science, but then again, if you want to do something for free without spending any money, you have to improvise and be quite adaptable. But that's something that's fairly easy. There we go. This is an advert. This is a square advert that you could now use to promote your book on Instagram or Facebook. Let's see. The one thing that I really like about You Only Live Once is that it is in Kindle Unlimited. And so one additional thing that I have provided here is a PNG of the Kindle Unlimited logo. So if your book is in Kindle Unlimited, including the Kindle Unlimited... Whoa, what did I do there? Sorry. If your book is in Kindle Unlimited, including the Kindle Unlimited logo is actually kind of a cool idea, because it's an unspoken message to your readers that your book is free for them to read as long as they have a Kindle Unlimited subscription. So what you can do is throw that in there and adjust it to whatever you think, and you've got a huge opportunity to just move this around however you want. So, you know, we'll move that into the center and put our move this into the center and move it around a bit. There we go. It's looking good. Maybe this background. What do we want? Do we want all the stars, the halo? Do we want anything like that? I don't know. You have to use your imagination. Move this down. Does that look better? I don't know. You have to move around all of the different elements and figure it out and decide for yourself what looks best. So, you know, I can't give you any of the artistic direction, but I do make it very easy for you to then grab whatever it is you make, and boom, that is your advert. I've actually got a bit of a purple line there. I don't know if that's hugely noticeable, but if it is, you can just go in. And the purple guidelines basically just help make sure that your advert is kind of the correct proportions. There we go. So that's perfect. So that's an advert that I put together. It looks like crap, I'll admit, but this is more a proof of concept than me creating an advert. I'm not planning to advertise this book right at the minute. But yeah, hopefully, if you want to start advertising your book and you don't have Adobe Photoshop and you don't want to mess around with Canva or anything like that, these tools will be really, really useful to you. And if you want them, they're free. Hit that link down below and you will go straight through to PayHip, where you can download them for free. I think you need to leave your email address. That's it. And I really, really hope they are useful to you. And if they are useful to you, please don't be a stranger. Let me know, because it would be really cool if I knew that something I did was actually useful to somebody else. Yeah, that's about it. In the meantime, though, don't forget, I have a bunch of resources for authors. The thing I'm proudest of is this course I put together called So You've Self-Published a Book on Amazon, Now What? And the majority of the time when I talk to other authors, they're really frustrated about the fact that they published a book on Amazon, it never went anywhere. So I've created a course specifically to help you with the next steps, to take you from, nothing to actually where you can see whether your book is going to be successful or not. So there's another link down below, or maybe there's one up here, I don't know. Could be anywhere right now. So find that link, click on it, and go and check out that course. And if that interests you, we've got a bunch of people already enrolled. People seem to think it's really cool and really useful. I'm so grateful for those people for taking the plunge and jumping into the course. So go and check it out, and hopefully what is in there can help you out. Anyway, that's it. That's my little short video. I will catch up with you later. Ciao. Thanks so much for watching that video. Don't forget, I've sold nearly 67,000 copies of my novels, so if you want to find out a bit more about that, don't forget to click the subscribe button.